Hey everyone, it's Jessica Michaels here with another video for the Color Cast Designs design team. And today I am playing along with 30 days of sketches with this sketch for day 11. And I am pulling out my collection called Spooky Things by Simple Stories. I really enjoy this sketch. I instantly thought of tearing my papers and having some on both sides of my layout here with some white textured cardstock in my background. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I actually had a scrap piece of this stripy kind of plaid looking paper, so I'm using some of that up today on this layout, and then I'm going to layer this black skull design behind it so it's just kind of peeking out, and I'm going to create a nice layered effect to go with the sketch design. I'm going to do the same thing on both sides today. I'm just going to trim this piece down real quick so I can layer this behind this paper and then go ahead and stick this down to my layout. Then I'm going to do some roughing of the edges here, and I'm also going to do some machine stitching with my brother's sewing machine. So I'm going to do some wonky stitches, some zigzags, just kind of crazy looking stitches just to kind of go with the grunge feel of this Halloween type layout today, because I have a photo of myself and my baby girl that I'm scrapbooking today. This particular sketch has just one photo on it. It is a 4x6 photo. You could easily adapt the sketch to fit another photo at the bottom where the little journaling piece is. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to follow the sketch design and create kind of an accent over there on that right side, but I'm going to flip my photo this way because that's the way that my photo goes. So I'm just kind of rolling with this and adapting the sketch to my needs. I've got a blending brush here with some black soot distress oxide that I'm using with this stencil. I believe it's by Echo Park. It's called something like Batty About You or Bats About You, something like that, but I'll link it down below if I can find it in any of the shops for you, and I'll link this Simple Stories collection down below too. I'm going to be working with some Color Cast Designs acrylics because that's the design team that I am designing for today. So I've got this title piece that I'm using that says October Memories. I'm going to go ahead and put this somewhere on my page. I actually really liked it under my photo but decided to go a different direction at the end, so I am going to go ahead and do my machine stitching here first, get that all down. As you can see, I did some just different types of stitches, some grungy looking stitches, some zigzags, and just kind of mixed it up. And then I'm going to end up putting that acrylic piece on the right side along with my stenciling. I've got this really cool looking tool. I actually picked this up in a set from Goodwill of all places. I just kind of spotted it there laying on top of some other crafty things, and I gobbled it right up because I thought this would be really cool to use on some Halloween layouts. It came with orange, purple, and black, which just screamed Halloween to me, and it's kind of sparkly, so it does shed some, but I'm going to go ahead and glue this down in a couple layers behind my photo using some Deluxe Nouveau adhesive, and then I'm just going to lay my photo down right on top. I'll end up adding a few embellishments over this as well to kind of help hold this down, since it didn't want to hold super well with that tool there and the dimension from my roughed up edges from my borders. So I did go ahead and pull out my tiny attacher Tim Holtz stapler to staple down the edge here just to give it a little bit of extra reinforcement. And then again, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here on the side, and then I'll grab some other embellishments and kind of layer around this to help hold that down. So I'm not too worried about it. I've got some Flair here from Scrappin Happy Studios. This is the canvas Flair that Jenny actually designed to go with this Spooky Things collection. It matches perfectly. I absolutely love this set. I'm going to have to grab another one because I'm almost done with it. And then I'm going to layer a couple of those Flair along with some of these die cut embellishments from this Spooky Things collection as well. I really, really love this little fabulous little embellishment. So I'm going to actually pop that down at the bottom of my photo. And then I'm going to do some layering with these die cuts around the side of my photo. Probably do both sides here just for some balance. And I'm just digging through this set to see what else I want to add. Of course, I'm going to add this cute little ghost because of my little fabulous saying. And I wanted that to kind of match up and go with that. I love this little witch hat. I put it on myself because I didn't want want to cover up my baby girl's cute hair and her little curls as they were coming in and how blonde they are. So I ended up actually putting it on myself instead. I'm going to pop that up with some 3D foam squares here in a moment. And then I'm just going to kind of fill in, add little bits and bobs here. I love these florals. I need an entire set of these florals because I just love them. They're so cute. And this little spider, I think I swapped him out for a different spider. I can't remember now. But I'm just going to draw like a little line for the little web that's coming down, like he's hanging from the top, kind of coming in and chilling. And just a couple flowers here. Yep, I did swap them out. There's the other spider that I ended up using. I'm going to actually end up popping that up with some 3D foam squares too. And I added some black splatters. This is my favorite Heidi Swap black color shine. I'm just adding a little bit of black splatters. I like to do that with stenciling just to break it up a little bit. And of course, this is a Halloween layout, so it adds a little bit of grunge as well. I got this little bat acrylic from Colorcast as well that I'm using today. Unfortunately, that set is sold out in the shop. She may restock it, I'm not sure. So I haven't checked today whether it was restocked or not, but I know when I was editing this video right now at this point it is out of stock. Unfortunately, you can't grab that one right now unless she restocks it. But the October one is still in stock, and you can certainly grab that from the shop, and I will link that down below for you as well. I'm going to pop down links for everything that I'm using today. That way, if you want to grab anything from the shops, you can certainly do that. You can see my son is coming in showing me his creation that he made today, and they just love playing with my crafty supplies as well. They're having a ball crafting today along with me in my room, which is really nice because my boys are getting to the age where they don't really want to hang out in my craft room much anymore. They want to do their own thing and go farm and do different things. So it's nice to have all three of my kiddos here in my room with me today. Here's my 3D foam squares. These are the Gina K ones. They're some of my favorite foam squares to use. I've got two different sizes that I'm using, and I'm just popping up my little witch hat, and I'm going to use them on my little spider there, and I thought there was something else I used it on too, but I can't remember. I'm just choosing between orange or purple thread. Sometimes I like to put thread behind my Flair. So I'm going to pop that behind the one Flair. I ended up not popping it behind the other one that's over on the stenciling part because I didn't want to take away from my stenciling. I wanted that to kind of shine over there. I did use my Deluxe Nouveau adhesive to glue down my acrylic title. I find that that glue works best for me and seems to be holding up very well over time in my albums. So that's my recommended glue to glue down the acrylics. And then these glue dots I like to use on my canvas and epoxy Flair whenever I'm gluing those down to my layouts, especially when using this thread. I usually put one glue dot on the Flair, one behind the thread as well. That way it's kind of creating a glue dot sandwich, and it has something nice to be able to stick directly to my layout. So just kind of fiddling with that thread a little bit. I just get a nice handful in there and then kind of twiddle it around and then plop it down on my layout. And sometimes, like today, I glue down the tails because I wanted it to be really kind of curly and fun. So I ended up just using a little dab of the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive just to add to the thread so it sticks down. It's going to dry up clear, so I don't have to worry about seeing that. I think in my photos it's still a little wet, so you might see that, but it does dry clear in the end. Then just adding a few little stickers from the sticker sheet, and I'm going to add my date here with my Paige Evans date stamp as well. So I'm going to grab that here in a second. The 6x8 paper pad in this Spooky Things collection has some nice cut apart pieces, and there's a couple of labels on the one sheet, so I'm going to grab that here as you can see and just cut one off. I've already used one in a previous project, and then I'm going to use this one here today. That's what I'm going to stamp my date on, and then I'm just going to glue that down with the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive as well. I like to rough things up, as you can see, with my fingernails. If you don't have fingernails or are afraid to get paper cuts, just use the edge of your scissors or an edge distresser for that. There's my Nouveau glue. I was going to put it at the top, but I actually really liked it here tucked in underneath this hat, so that's where I ended up putting it. Here is the finished layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this process today, and if you want to check out all the videos in the 30 Days of Sketches playlist, I will link that playlist down below for you so you can check out everyone playing along with Day 11 sketch today. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye!